Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is part 2 of how I overcame insomnia. If you have not watched my first video of how God healed me of insomnia, please watch that video. This is part 2, months after that video, when I stopped practicing the things that God healed me of the first time. The insomnia came back, and I just wanted to get into things that I learned that I had not known for the 10 previous years that I had the insomnia, that I learned in a sleep class that I had through my medical provider. This was a few years ago. But before I get into the course, the tips on the course that I learned, I just want to go over some basic sleeping hygiene for everybody. Some of the things that I learned over the 10 years of chronic on and off insomnia that I had was make sure you're getting exercise during the day. Make sure you're getting your heart rate up a little bit during the day. You got to move around. If you're always in a restful state during the day, your body's not going to be tired enough to fall into a deep sleep at night. If you are on nicotine or caffeine, you need to minimize, or if you can completely eradicate it, it's really needed when you're having chronic insomnia, or at least for a time frame. Make sure you're eating adequately through the day, not too much, just healthy through the day. Make sure you're not eating huge meals within an hour of falling asleep. Routine is so important for people with insomnia. I'm the kind of person, I like to try to get up the same time of day, go to bed around the same time of day, kind of have that daily routine, get into a rhythm in life. It's going to help your body to understand what time it is when it's time to go to bed. Being awake during the day and getting out in the sunshine, if you're able to have sun exposure or light exposure during the day, that is so healthy for the brain, especially actually getting out in natural light like sunlight instead of just in front of a computer screen. And then at night, what I do as part of my natural rhythm is once it gets within about 2 to 3 hours of my bedtime, I'll just start turning off some of the bright lights and turning on more of the dim lights and switching it over to more of a calm, dim atmosphere within a few hours of me going to bed. They advise not to have media exposure like television or on your phone within the 2 hours before bed. But if 2 hours is too much for you to handle, I would just start with 15 minutes or a half an hour. Honestly, it should be like a full hour before you go to bed. You should just turn everything off, all your applications. If it's just easier for you to turn some music on to help your mind, have some noise in the background, and just put your phone down, turn it upside down. Sometimes I'll put it in a drawer so I can't look at it and think of it. If you think of something that you need to do on your phone, have a notepad close to your desk or your nightstand. Write down, what do you need to look up? What do you need to do on your phone so you don't forget, so you don't feel like you have to do it right away. Also, if you guys have worries on your mind, those things are going to inhibit your ability to sleep. Address things with people, make sure you're in a healthy living environment. If not, make sure you're getting connections with the outside world to get yourself in a healthy environment. If you are in a safe home environment, just make sure you have fun with people, connect with people, get out. Sometimes just not having those social relationships in our life can cause depression and make it difficult to get up in the morning. So those are all just regular tips that are just very basic about making sure that you have really good sleep hygiene. And also I would say that alcohol is something that can actually prohibit your sleeping pattern. So you've heard that it can actually help you fall asleep, but it actually can inhibit the brain waves when you're trying to fall asleep. So it also encourages that if you're having problems with insomnia, to just hold back on the alcohol. Okay, so now that we have all those basic things down, I want to get into what I found out, new things that I found out. Those sleep hygienes were things I had already known and I was already trying to put into practice, and I was still struggling with chronic insomnia at times. I actually had to completely stop caffeine for 2 years, and I really had to just stop caffeine. I know that's a really hard thing for people to do, but it is so good for your health if you're struggling with chronic insomnia. So actually what I found out after all this was over was that I had breast implant illness, and I've had, so chronic insomnia ended up being one of the symptoms of having breast implants, and I don't know what exactly happened because it's not studied, and they don't study this subject because breast implant companies and cosmetic companies are making like billions, so they're not going to put any information out there or do any research to stop that industry. It's so interesting. I've been without breast implants for about 1.5 years now, and I am sleeping solid 7 to 8 hours a night. I mean, I have not been able to do that in over 10 years, you guys. So, I mean, if you know someone with breast implants or interested in getting breast implants, before they do, please just have them read my video on my experience with breast implants. I have that on my page, so please subscribe and take a look at my page and let's take a listen to my experience with breast implant illness. So now I'm actually going to get into something that changed my life with really getting a handle on my sleep and insomnia. I actually went to the doctor. I had to get off of the Lunesta that I was on because I was on it way too long and it was causing bad side effects in me. And so I went to the sleep class and they went over all the sleep hygiene, but one of the things that changed my life was actually this, you guys. It was a sleep log. And when I first saw this, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so much work. Like, I don't want to do all that stupid work. It's not even going to benefit me, you guys. And it ended up being the one thing that like changed everything. So I'm just gonna go over it briefly with you. I'm also gonna just like take a picture, a screenshot at the end. So if you just wanna, when I get to the end, I'll keep it on for like a few seconds. So if you just wanna screenshot it on your phone, if you can just print it off and you can make as many copies as you need to fill it out. It just got me on track. So you don't have to fill all of these out. When I first started, I filled out everything, and then I kind of went to the ones that were just the most important, but I am going to read through everything. The first line, well, it says Monday through Sunday, so these are the days of the week and the dates, and it says weekly sleep log. It says what time did you go to bed, so you can mark that. What time did you turn out the lights to go to sleep? About how long did it take you to fall asleep? Was it within 30 minutes, 1-2 hours? How many times did you wake up last night? About how long were you awake during the night? Total time you laid awake. What time did you last wake up this morning? About how many hours did you sleep last night in total? This was one that I always had to fill out. How many hours did you give yourself to sleep from lights out to getting out of bed? And then overall, how well did you sleep? 1 is terrible, 5 being great. And when you start filling this out, you're gonna start seeing a pattern. So what I would have on mine was a lot of times 0, 2, or 3 hours, and then a 5.5. And they said, look at your most frequent number. And that week I had 3 nights where I slept 5.5. And so they said, okay, so take that 5.5 hours. And for me, I was giving myself 8 to 10 hours in bed, but I was not sleeping that much. And ultimately, the key that I found was that you're supposed to take the most frequent amount of times you fall asleep, so or hours that you're in bed. So for me, it was 5.5, and you only allow yourself that amount of time, 5.5 hours or whatever your number is, to be in your bed. That means you're not allowed to go to bed unless you're ready to absolutely pass out. So for me, I only needed 5.5 hours of sleep. I would wait until I was ready to literally keel over. And when I was really, really tired, literally, I was trying to keep my eyes open for like an hour before I actually went to bed. I'd fall asleep. You guys, I started falling asleep within 15 minutes, getting into a deep sleep, solid sleep for 6 hours, wake up at 6 o'clock, and you're supposed to get up. You're supposed to get up and not stay in bed and not sleep in, because the bed is supposed to be a time just for sleep. Since we're on the topic of the bed being just for sleep, that means also your bed is not a place to sit and have other hobbies. I mean, except for sex, okay? So your bed is just for sleeping and sex. There is no sitting in your bed, watching TV for hours, going on your phone for hours, doing other things in your bed, or even doing crafts or reading or anything, because your body is associating your bed with what you're doing. So if you are in your bed and you're anxious about sleep, you are going to associate your bed with anxiety. And it's, you know how that works, and that's happened to me before a number of times where you're just like, I just don't want to get in my bed. I'm so anxious for the night ahead. And if you just only make your bed for sleep, your association is going to change. You're going to be like, as soon as I hit the bed, I'm going to fall asleep. because I'm not allowing myself any time to do anything else. I'm not gonna be laying down and staring at the ceiling. They say if you are not falling asleep within like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, you need to get out of bed. That means you're not tired enough. You need to get out of bed. You can do light housekeeping. You can do reading. You can maybe do a light walk outside. And some people say, well, I have to watch television. That's how I fall asleep. Well, that's why you're not getting good quality sleep. That's why you're not falling asleep, because that light and that activity is keeping your brain activity alive, and it's prohibiting your brain from shutting down. Okay, and you have to ask yourself, if you're not able to shut the television off, do you have a television addiction? Do you need to start turning it off? Nobody should have a television in their room if you have insomnia. If you have insomnia, you need to get it out of your room, okay? That's just no gray area on that. And also, I would like to add that if you have sleep apnea, if people are noticing that you are snoring excessively, tired during the day, choking or stopping your breathing at night, please see a doctor. You might have sleep apnea or other sleep problems or disturbances, and you might need to take an actual sleep lab test to see what's going on at night when you're sleeping. If you have sleep apnea, please wear your CPAP machine, you guys. It is super dangerous to have sleep apnea untreated. People can fall asleep during the day. You can sleep for hours at night and not get fully rested. It affects your memory, it affects your brain functioning, you guys. Just please take good care of yourselves. So, you know, what I really found was that I was able to be awake for a lot longer, and I was really excited actually. Once I found this trick, I'm like, I can actually do more. I can get more stuff done during the day. And then when I'm in bed, I'm actually sleeping cold out, and I just had way better health. You know, it just started going up slowly. And then when I had my implants out, it's just been getting better from there. So anyways, you guys, I hope that answered all of your questions. And if you have questions, please comment below. If you like this video, push the like button, and please subscribe for more videos on life and spiritual enrichment, education, and tips. And I hope you all have a blessed day. God bless you. Love you. You're an amazing person. You have an amazing purpose in life. Stick around. Believe in yourself and love each other. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.